Israel is a miracle of God's work. And God is working in and through them, and that's the final key to the prophetic roadmap of the future. We've been looking at Christ's promises and predictions in Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21. And the final sign that we're looking at is the sign of Israel, and it's the biggest one of all. The Lord has claimed that He alone can declare the future. The reason we spend so much time on prophecy is that God uses prophecy on His calling card. For example, if you want to turn from Genesis to closer to the middle to Isaiah, look with me at Isaiah 46. So you go right to the middle. Just open the middle and find the Psalms and go to the right. Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. Isaiah is right there. 46. It's a big book and has a lot of future events listed. But in Isaiah 46 and verse 9, look what the Lord says. He says, "This is the key to how reliable I can be in your sight." God says this. Verse 9, "Remember the former things of old," Isaiah 46:9. "For I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is no one like me." How do I know you're God is the question. Verse 10, "I declare the end from the beginning." God says, I'm the only one that knows the ending. And not only do I know it, I declare it. I tell you. I explain it to you. I write it down. I make it clear. I put it on paper for you to know. "And from the ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand," look at the end of verse 10, "and I will do all my pleasure." Now the context, you always have to look at the context. The context is Israel, the nation, is still not obeying and living and believing and following the Lord, and they're off into this idol stuff. And this whole idea about dead idols is all the way through this section of Isaiah. And it's funny, we just actually read this as a family, and they cut down a tree, a big tree, and they cut it in half, and half of it they set off to the side to kind of age and get better to make something out of. And the other half they cut it up into firewood, and they use it to make their meal. And after they've seasoned this piece, they take it off and make an idol out of it. And they worship the idol. And the Lord says, isn't it funny that you can't even make a tree, but you cut it down and you eat your meals and heat your house from half of it, and you make your God out of the other half, and you don't even look at the one that made the tree. I mean, it's a beautiful story that the Lord asked him to think about. But then he says, the idol can't tell you the future, but verse 9 and 10, I can. And that's how you know that I'm God. So basically, the Lord has claimed He alone is the one who can declare the future. And the one who can declare the future said that Israel is His roadmap for the future. And God has told us exactly what's going to happen to Israel. And what happens to Israel has been ordained by God. And we need to be careful to understand from the past dealings of God with the Jews to realize that in the future, He's still at work. Because everything that's happened to Israel up through today is exactly what God said would happen to them. Think about that. They're not off the page. They're not hanging out there. God has told us what was going to happen to them, and it's happened to the letter. First, we must see that God has chosen the Jews as His people. And God has chosen the land of Canaan, not Palestine, as His land. And God has chosen the destiny of the nation of Israel as His destined plan for His destined people. And the Jews in the land of Israel and the nation of Israel are His chosen people of destiny. They don't even know it. They don't even care. They don't even want to be a part of it. They say, why'd you pick us? And that's a good question for Him to ask. But God's sovereign election of Israel. It's just what it says. In fact, the Scriptures say He didn't choose them because they were smarter or better or more lovable than anybody else. He just chose them as His people to work out His eternal plan.